So I went grocery shopping for my mom at the local supermarket. There was this middle-aged lady, M, with her child, around 7Y/0. At first everything was normal. I got the things I needed and just wanted to purchase as suddenly that little prat started screaming at his mom. The conversation went something like this. Kid, I want chocolate. M, no, put it back. Kid, continues yelling. M, standing there, saying nothing. Kid, suddenly grabbing yogurt from a shelf and throwing it to the ground, jumping on it angrily. M, drags her kid away. M, turning towards me. You clean that up. Me, what? No, I don't even. M, you get paid for cleaning up. Come on, let's leave. Name of her son. Me, I don't even work here. M, good excuse. Me, and even if I would work here, you shouldn't talk to people like this. M, you little cunt. Clean that up now, or I'll report you to the manager. Shop assistant, sap, walking up to M, ma'am, I need you to leave. M, cursing at the sap. Sap, ma'am, please pay the yogurt your kid threw on the ground and leave our shop. M, you cunt can't tell me nothing. Also, it's her fault. Turns around, points at me. Me, excuse me? M, it's your fault. So you gotta pay the yogurt and you gonna buy my son the chocolate he wanted. Sap, okay, that's enough. I call security. Well, M and their kid got both banned from the shop. I wish this was a fake story, but it's not. This is going on at the elementary school I work at. Ed entitled DT Demon Turd. 5th grader. P principal me bloated manatee. For background, DT has some disease that makes him physically unwell and will shorten his life. His parents think that because his life is so difficult that he shouldn't have to deal with any consequences of his bad behavior and everyone should treat him like a king. Things this brat has done. Stabbed himself in the stomach with a pencil, resulting in a big bruise. Said his then 6-month pregnant teacher pinched him. He almost got her fired before he finally admitted it was his own fault. She went on maternity leave early. He lies. He bullies other kids. He constantly disrespects teachers and aides, etc. He has his own personal aide that goes to classes with him and sits by him. Not because he's slow and needs the help. No, he has an aide because he spends so much of his time trying to get his classmates in trouble. So and so hit me, so and so called me a bad word, etc. So the school wastes resources to have an adult chaperone him to protect the other students. How jacked is that? The parents, namely the dad, are constantly meeting with the teacher and principal saying their son isn't being treated fairly or has being bullied or whatever BS. Since the kid has health problems, he can call home whenever he wants to. Usually he tells his parents some BS lie about getting picked on. Whenever the douchebag dad meets with the principal, he threatens to sue. That's his favorite thing, to scream in her face. If our principal wasn't a woman, he would have punched her by now. He has a bad temper and the gossip says he hits his wife too. Will justice ever be served? 4 years our school has been held hostage by this shitty kid and his even shittier Ed. Our principals in the past have all laid down and taken it. But not on you, lady. Ed scheduled yet another meeting with her tomorrow to complain and threaten to sue. She finally has enough. She asked me to write up my account of an incident happened today with DT and collected as many as she could from others whom have had incidents with him. She told us that when Ed comes tomorrow and whines, she is going to rip into him and tell him his child is a menace and his behavior needs to change. And if he wants to sue, then go ahead, here is the district attorney's number, they will be in contact with yours. The staff at the school is over the moon that finally something is being done about this mini tyrant. If anyone cares, I'll post an update when I get one. This happened years ago, but I still run into this lady as she is my parents' neighbor. When I was 12 I was the neighborhood babysitter, and just about every weekend I would watch a group of kids. At one point I watched 16 kids at once. I would often bring my little brother so that my parents could have some time to themselves. On Fridays though I was only allowed to watch my neighbor's nightmare kids. She would not allow my brother to be there as he was friends with her daughter and she wanted her to only be friends with girls for some dumb reason. She had 4 kids ranging from 6 years to 10 months. To give a little context on how horrible these kids were, they would often run through the neighborhood naked, climb on roofs, and go into other people's yards and steal their pets and put them in someone else's yard. The 2-year-old also came into my parents' home and chased my little brother with a hammer, saying that he was going to bash his head in. There's still a hole in my parents' wall from that. This lovely woman would pay me $2 an hour and would round down if she came home on the half-hour mark. She would also come home literal hours later than she said she would, with no phone call or explanation as to why. I later found out that she had told my mom she would give me dinner whenever I babysit as compensation for not really paying me. The one time she gave me dinner, it was about 3 spoonfuls of canned chicken noodle soup and a bit of applesauce. I suspect that one of the kids didn't finish their dinner and I got whatever was left. I would also often cook something for the kids because they were always hungry. Not really surprising if chicken soup and applesauce was regularly their dinner. I was obviously pretty done with watching these kids, since I could be making more money elsewhere, and they were literal nightmares. But it all came to a head when my mom received this phone call as soon as I came home from watching those kids one night. M equals my mom, EN equals entitled neighbor. Since my mom's phone was very crappy, she had the call on speaker so she could hear, and I got to hear the whole conversation. M. Hello. N. Why didn't your daughter clean my room? M. I'm sorry, what? N. I came home and my room is a mess. M. Was it clean before you left? N. No. M. Did you ask her to clean it? N. No. M. Then why would she clean it? N. I pay her to take care of my home while my husband and I go to the temple. I don't think it's too much to ask for my room to be cleaned while we are gone. M. I thought your husband was out of town. N. He's with me in spirit. M. Well, from now on my daughter will watch your kids in spirit. Bye now. The neighbor now has a 5th kid and shockingly can't find the babysitter anywhere. So I was at Kmart one day looking for a bike pump for my nephew. Annoying kid, Ak, who looks about 7, comes up and conversation goes as follows. Ak, can you please buy me a Nerf gun? Me, sorry, I can't afford it. I wonder where his parents are at this point. Ak, but you're buying. That points to my pump. Me, sorry, I only have enough money for this. At this point the dad comes up and asks his kid what's wrong, who looks like he is trying to cry at this point. Ak, he won't buy me my Nerf gun, points to me. Entitled Dad, is that true? Me, sorry, I only have enough money for this pump. Ed looks pissed at this point. Ed, so put it back. He looks at me like I'm the biggest idiot in the world. Me, sorry sir, I can't buy your son his toy, have a nice day. As I start to walk away, I hear Ed talk to his kid. Ed, don't worry about people like him, Ak. The world just sometimes has some assholes. Alright, so at my school I formed a band with my friends, and it was going very well and still is, I hope. Our band had our bassist, guitarist, drummer, and me the singer. A background is at our school there happened to be a science teacher that has a kid in our grade and also teaches my class. She's a terrible teacher. When me and my friends made the band, the whole grade knew and just moved on. But there's one kid who we're talking about today. Me, I'm not even gonna make the joke. F. Friend who is a guitarist. Ek. Entitled kid who is the son of the teacherette. Entitled teacher and parent. It was recess at my school, or break, whatever you want to call it, and I was in line to grab a snack at the cafeteria. I got my stuff and turned to CF and saw him with Ek and Ed talking and gave me a look to come. While I was walking I already heard this conversation happening. Ed, this is great Ek, we can get you an electronic drum set. Ek, I'm really excited. By now I already know they baited F. So I ran over there thinking that he let our drummer be replaced. Next conversation. Me, hey, what's going on? F. Whispers in my ear. Ek is trying to get on our band. Me, whispering back, well tell them no. But Ed probably will grade me down like the bitch she is. F. Good thing I'm not in her class. Me, whatever, but everyone already tried to get in, so tell them to screw off. F. You can't tell a teacher to screw off. Me, shut up. Now Ek was one of the kids who didn't try and relied on Ed for everything, basically giving him special treatment, probably special in the head too. The conversation starts with me and Ed. Me, sorry Ed, but we already have a drummer. Well, that's too bad. At least my ek can be your technician. What is going through this woman's head? Me, we don't need one. Of course you will. Who is gonna take care of the speakers? Me. Really? How? I grabbed F and dragged him out the door with me until our break was over. I was walking to the science class I had with at the period after talking to Ek and decided to listen. Ek, why can't I be a part of that? Because you have no motivation to even exercise and don't put in effort into anything including school. Don't worry, it's just a fake band. They won't last 2 weeks. This bitch just said that. I stood by the door still listening to it talking shit about my band until Ek walked out and Et stood by the doorway. I looked at her with the hardest gaze I could and gave her an evil smile as I walked in. I was the first one in the class and no one else was there. I said this to Ed. Me, if you keep saying things like that you won't last a teacher for 2 weeks. And besides, who said you were a real one? She froze as the next student walked in, forcing her to not react to what I said. The period passed on like any other, and as I walked out I gave Ed the biggest and most evil smile as I slipped through the door. To this day my band is doing really well, and I'm really proud of all my bandmates for working really hard, even though they will never see this. Did you enjoy this video? Leave a like and subscribe to Brody for more.